Fuck up lots of things, hold on. My bad. So coming up right now is the very talented Shelby Vivit.
Just so you guys know, this is my first time, so don't judge me. This is called Adrenaline. I've only got one for you tonight. Lately, I've come to love leaning across the edge of space, grounded but in fleeting feelings of flying, braced by the hard whisper of wind, chasing Hermes the hipster, only to watch his wings disappear into the flickering crowd after a pair of black stilettos with red lips and wing-tipped eyelashes attached. I smoke in souped-up silence, as if the tension of my lips sipping on carcinogens could ease the strung-out butterflies in my stomach from when you pinned me against the wall, long fingers nearly caressing my carefully curled halo, your tense body emitting such heat that I can feel it radiate in my deepest memories. It's turned into a bad habit of sticking my fingers near electrical sockets. It's turned into a bad habit of sticking my fingers near electrical sockets. I hope it arcs into my waiting pulse, jacking it higher than when you almost kissed me because your girlfriend and I showed up in the same dress. When the recognition showed in your eyes, sparking them into equal parts confusion and interest, the liquor flushed out the courage in your chest, leaning forward, but I lean back. I don't need to fall when you trip. And the wonderful Clorey is up next.
Okay, this is a story called Mirror Face. It's inspired by the fact that my boyfriend says I make a really weird face in the mirror that looks like this. Okay. This is their thing. Colin on his stomach on her bed, propped up with his elbows, and his mother in front of the full-length mirror, getting ready for a date. Pinching tights, flipping hair, painting lips, flinging shoes. It is their thing, though sometimes his mother forgets he's there and gets very involved in her mirror conversations, running her hands along her hips and thighs. Oh, you like these jeans? Well, let me tell you, they look much better off. She squeals and jumps. Yes, I've had a kid. Really? You don't believe me? You are funny. She flaps her hands and twists to see her backside in the mirror. Her head moves swiftly side to side and up and down like it's on wheels. They don't call it their thing or talk about it at all. That's part of what makes it their thing. Colin hangs delicately in the background like a painting, not adding anything except the something that, if removed, would make the wall seem bare. During the first half of their thing, Colin sees every naked part of his mother's body, but is most interested in his breasts because besides her face, they change the most. At first, they protrude like two tiny Hershey's Kisses, with just a handful of pink flesh around them. They aren't that much different than his, which makes him proud. One time, he got up and lifted his shirt next to her, and she said, "Ha, Colin, don't make me feel worse." But once there's a bra and fabric over them, they are nothing like his. They jut out like two giant scoops of mashed potatoes, seeming solid as cereal bowls, with round tops that when he pushes, keep an imprint of his finger for what feels like a whole minute. Her face changes the most, though, and after each adjustment, she looks at him and says, "Good?" And he says good, and really means it, because he knows good means black around the eyes with shadow up to the crease and sparkles above, Sticky lashes, pink cheeks, and red lips that are darkest at the edges. There are many tubes and bottles involved, and Colin knows the names of all of them, even the complicated ones like astringent and translucent powder. Colin always asks, "Why do you have to open your mouth to do mascara?" His mother never answers, and he's glad because he can keep asking. That is also part of their thing. Usually his mom wants music, and she says, "Hit it, DJ," and he knows which buttons to press on her laptop. His mom sings along and watches her hips move in the mirror. He used to stand up on the bed and shake his hips too, hands out in front in loose fists. But once she said, "Colin, you're dancing like a girl." And he didn't know any other way to dance, so now he stays lying on his stomach, moving his head back and forth to the beat. When her heels are fastened and her hair sprayed, his mom steps back and looks at herself with an expression Colin only ever sees her make to the mirror. It is a strange and fleeting expression, head tilted down, brows raised, eyeballs cranked back so they almost disappear, and mouth pursed like in a kiss. It is this face he waits to see and watches in quiet wonderment as it blooms and wilts. Somehow he understands that to acknowledge it would be a sort of invasion of privacy or disruption of nature. He tries to find the face at other times, in other places, like at the dinner table or the park or the supermarket. But it's never there, and she'll say, "Why are you staring at me all creepy?" Sometimes in the photographs she takes on her cell phone, it's almost there, but not quite, not exactly. Colin doesn't know if he likes the face or is frightened of it, whether he yearns to see it or will throw up next time, but he looks for it everywhere, even in the face of a teacher, a stranger, his Uncle Joe, he looks. It used to be only Thursdays and Saturdays that were date nights, and after their thing, Colin's mom's mom would come down from the house upstairs to watch him. When Colin was born, she said, "There's no way in hell I'm going to be a nana or a grandma at this age. If he has to call me something, make it babe." So she is skin and bones, wrinkle-free, bottled red babe. Babe's current husband said, "Why can't you women just embrace it?" and stops by every few months. But lately, date night seems to be almost every night. And when Babe babysits, she drinks wine from a box and smokes cigarettes in the driveway while Colin watches through the window, pretending to smoke a Playmobil figurine. When his mom gets home after 1 a.m., Colin hears Babe whisper, "Nikki, you can't be running around with every scumbag who looks your way. You want to do this all over again? Do you? Deja vu, Nikki. It's fucking deja vu all over again. I'm telling you. And you won't have us next time, I promise you that. Just look at what you're doing to that poor, sweet boy. He's soft as a marshmallow, and that's all he'll ever be." His mother is hunched over, back rounded, hands gripping her thighs as if she might throw up. Colin pretends to be asleep, but if either of them looked in, they would easily see the slits in his eyes and the round red shame on his marshmallow cheeks. "I'm a good mom," his mom says then, and Colin wants to run out of bed and say, "Yes, yes, a good mom," and squeeze her legs so she stops crying. "A better mom than you ever were. Colin is fine. He's going to be better than all of us. He'll go to college in the city and get a real job and a real family. You know he will. You know." "You just have to let me have some fun, Mom. Please, I'm going crazy. I'm still a kid. I'm still just a kid." This is what Colin can never understand. If he's a kid and she's a kid, then who isn't a kid? Is Babe a kid too? Are they all kids? That doesn't seem right for a family, as far as he can tell. The women stop talking then, but Colin still can't fall asleep. He sees his mom's mirror face looking right at him, her giant head floating, lips pursed, gummy and dark red like a bloody-skinned knee coated in neosporin. It gives him chills that make his body dance under the sheets. He wonders if she makes mirror face when she's out on her dates, but won't make it for him for some reason, like because he's too soft, too much of a marshmallow. The thought gets him so angry that his legs turn fiery hot and sweaty. He kicks the sheets up to let in some air. It reminds him of the time he had a fever, and his mom lifted up his sweaty blankets, fanning them out, then grabbed his ankles, saying, "Ooh, these noodles are so saucy." He had imagined his legs were spaghetti, and his mom would eat them, just eat them right up. Thank you.